The news broke just as the sun was setting over Madrid, bathing the royal palace in a warm golden glow. Cameras were already stationed outside, as they had been for days, but no one was prepared for what was about to happen. Inside, Princess Leonor sat with her parents, King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, her hands clasped tightly on her lap, her heart pounding. For months, speculation had been mounting, whispers of a great royal romance, a union that could reshape the future of Spain's monarchy. And now, at last, the moment had come. The announcement was made with simple words, but their impact rippled across the world. Princess Leonor of Spain, the heir to the throne, was engaged to be married. The reaction was instant, explosive, and emotional. Social media lit up with cries of joy, shock, and curiosity. News outlets in Spain broke into their regular programming. Across Europe, royal watchers scrambled to share the news. The future queen was not just stepping into her destiny, she was choosing love, and in doing so, she was rewriting history. Leonor had always been known as a dutiful, serious young woman. From the moment she took her first oath as heir to the throne, she had carried herself with the poise of a future queen. But this was something different. This was personal. This was her heart on display before millions. When she stepped before the cameras, wearing a pale blue dress that shimmered softly under the palace lights, there was an audible gasp from the gathered crowd. She smiled nervously, glanced at her father for reassurance, and began to speak. Her voice was calm but warm, filled with emotion. She thanked the Spanish people for their support, acknowledged the weight of her future responsibilities, and then, with a shy but radiant smile, introduced the man she would marry. The cameras panned to him, and for a moment there was silence, as though the entire nation was holding its breath. He was tall, composed, dressed in a perfectly tailored suit. His hand rested lightly on Leonor's, and the two exchanged a look that said more than any speech could. This was not a political arrangement, not a marriage of convenience. This was love, deep, real, undeniable. In living rooms across Spain, people wept. In cafes, strangers embraced. Online, clips of the announcement went viral within minutes, with hashtags about Leonor's wedding trending globally. Even outside Spain, the story dominated headlines. Royal commentators in London compared it to the great love stories of history, while in Copenhagen, where rumors of a connection to Denmark's Prince Christian had once fueled tabloid speculation, there was a respectful silence and a warm message of congratulations from the Danish royal family. Leonor's fiancé spoke briefly, thanking the royal family for their welcome and promising to support Leonor as she prepared for her future role. His voice was steady, but his eyes betrayed how deeply moved he was by the moment. The palace courtyard erupted into applause, and Leonor's younger sister, Infanta Sofia, hugged her so tightly that Leonor had to laugh through tears. As the night fell, celebrations broke out across Madrid. The streets were alive with music, flags waving, people chanting Leonor's name. For many Spaniards, this was not just a wedding announcement, it was a symbol of continuity, of hope for the future. Spain had endured challenges in recent years, but here was their future queen, poised and graceful, giving them something to believe in. Inside the palace, the mood was equally jubilant. Queen Letizia, who had always been fiercely protective of her daughters, was seen smiling wider than she had in years. King Felipe embraced his future son-in-law with a father's pride, then placed a reassuring hand on Leonor's shoulder. This was not just a personal milestone for the family, it was a moment that cemented the next chapter of the Spanish crown. The world's press wasted no time dissecting every detail. What would Leonor's wedding dress look like? Where would the ceremony be held? Which royals and heads of state would be invited? The palace released a brief statement confirming that preparations were already underway, and that the wedding would take place the following year in Madrid, in a ceremony steeped in Spanish tradition. In the days that followed, the story only grew. Paparazzi captured Leonor and her fiancé attending mass together, their fingers intertwined as they exited the cathedral. Fashion magazines praised Leonor's understated elegance, while historians reminded the public of the symbolic weight of this marriage. As the first queen regnant Spain would have in centuries, Leonor's choice of a life partner carried deep significance. But amid the frenzy, Leonor remained focused and serene. She continued her royal duties, visiting schools, attending official events, and preparing for her military training, all while quietly planning her wedding. Those close to her said that she seemed happier than ever, often humming to herself or smiling at her phone when no one was looking. Internationally, the engagement became a trending topic for weeks. In the United States, morning shows ran segments titled, "Meet the Man Who Stole the Future Queen's Heart." In Britain, comparisons were drawn to the marriages of Prince William and Kate Middleton, as well as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, with many remarking that Leonor's path seemed to blend duty and love in a uniquely modern way. Even leaders of other nations sent their congratulations. Messages poured in from presidents, prime ministers, and monarchs, each one recognizing not just the personal happiness of the young couple, but the historic nature of the moment. The Vatican released a statement blessing the union, while cultural institutions in Spain began planning exhibitions celebrating past royal weddings in anticipation of the coming spectacle. The night before the official engagement portraits were released, Leonor and her fiancé were spotted strolling through the gardens of the royal palace, sharing a quiet moment away from the cameras. Witnesses said they looked completely at ease, laughing softly, stopping now and then to admire the fountains. For all the pomp and pressure surrounding them, they seemed simply like two young people in love. When the portraits finally appeared, they captivated the nation. One showed Leonor in a simple white dress, holding a small bouquet of flowers, her fiancé standing behind her with his hands gently on her shoulders. Another captured them seated together, laughing, their heads tilted toward each other. These were not stiff, formal photographs, they were intimate, genuine, and full of light. In the weeks that followed, speculation about the wedding reached a fever pitch. Designers were rumored to be competing for the honor of creating Leonor's gown. The guest list became a topic of heated debate among royal watchers. Would foreign royals attend? Would celebrities be present? What music would be played as Leonor walked down the aisle? Through it all, Leonor stayed true to herself. She spoke occasionally to the press, thanking the people for their support and expressing her excitement for the future. "This is a very special time in my life," she said in one interview. "I am grateful to share it with all of you." By the time the first official wedding date was announced, the excitement had reached every corner of the globe. Spain was preparing for a royal celebration that would be remembered for generations. Hotels in Madrid reported being fully booked months in advance. Florists, bakers, and designers worked around the clock to prepare. The wedding was still months away, but one thing was already clear: Princess Leonor had captured the world's imagination. Her announcement had done more than just confirm a marriage, it had reminded millions why they cared about royalty in the first place. The pomp, the history, the love story that transcended borders, it was all there, playing out in real time. And as Leonor stood once more on the balcony of the royal palace, waving to the cheering crowd below, she knew she was stepping into her future with confidence. The world might have been speechless at first, but now, it was singing with joy.